Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to another Magical Moon video. We're at the back of the house and this is where the main game, the main drainage is going to commence. So all the way along this big bank behind me, we're going to put in that scallop, that ditch out, just to send the water off, and then it's going to go out and down to the lower ground. And before, this bank came all the way down to the house, and with a big machine, not so many moons ago, I moved it all away to give us this space. But we now need to do the next bit, which is, as I say, put that drainage in. But first things first, we're going to get the hedge cutter on and we're going to give this a little trim back just to neaten it up. And it means we can get in a little bit closer with Doug and do what we've got to do. But in the meantime, there's still all the horses to be getting on with. So let's go and catch up with a few of them. The first resident we're catching up with is the one and only BFG. We were due to start that ridden work, but we're waiting for Greg the farrier to come to just give him the all clear. He's got that he's got a large injury on one of his hind legs, which he's really Jenny's been working her magic with all sorts of contraptions and it's really improving, but we just need to make sure that he's got everything he needs to be as comfortable as possible, because we're going to do a little bit of controlled, ridden retirement. We're going to do a bit of controlled work on the roads, which I think is going to be really good for him. And as you can see, this is why he has that collar on. He's actually not done it as much of late, but he does have a tendency, it's his little habit, and you may or may not know that's what causes that gas retention. And he got colic, he got a real, it's a life-threatening condition, and he had intrusive surgery to get rid of all that pent-up air that was in his tummy from his vice. But we're trying to ease him off it, and when he comes up here, it's a different perspective for him up here. It really keeps him active. He's very, very inquisitive. He's very playful, but this is a whole new outlook. So he's got his stable. He's still stabled in the corner in his big room, but up here with all the other horses passing by, he really enjoys it. It's just another part of his retirement, but really looking forward to the ridden retirement. I've got my boots in being repaired because one of our dogs, Bubbles, chewed the zip. So that's him being repaired. As soon as that's done, and Greg's been, it's going to be off we go. We're down here with the lovely Ginger, and you might notice we're in Charlotte's stable. At night she's up in the other stable, and in the day we bring her down, a bit like BFG, just changing things up. She's just feeling her age, let's say 29 years old, but she is a bit sensitive and she likes a bit of one-on-one, and we try and do that with a lot of them, just bring them in and give them a bit more intensive care. And at this time of year, who could refuse a good rub and a bit of loving, or a bit of extra loving? On the farm we use 3 different types of bales. You might have seen the massive ones. They are humongous, very, very awkward to manoeuvre. Once the farmer comes and puts them in the barn, that's it. And that's why we then swapped over to the little traditional bales, those lovely little rectangular bales. We also use these round bales, and they're a lot smaller. They're about 4 foot or 4'4", around about there. And they work really well because we can actually manoeuvre them, and you're going to see in a minute Toby manoeuvring one into place. But we've also come up with a solution, or we think we have. And in this bag is a very special bit of equipment, and it's really going to help minimise the wastage, because that's one of those things which we're always struggling with. But I think there's a really useful solution. while I was digging away, Toby did very, very well to get the bale down, the bag on, and then back where it needs to be. And as I said, I think it's going to be a really, really, well, an economical solution to any wastage, and this just minimises it as much as possible. You might be able to see where they're all in a line, they're queuing up, they have that pecking order. Sometimes you'll see them eating together, and every now and then they do form a bit of a queue. They have a little munch and they go on, and then it'll be Dilly, and then it'll be Athos, then it'll be Nevada, and then it'll be Nanny. But as I say, sometimes they pair up, sometimes they don't. It just depends how they feel. But they've got the freedom to roam, they come and go, and as we said before, they've got that lovely running water. But this just really helps with giving them a little bit extra if they need it, which they have all year round. But at this time of year, because of the wet, those bales can get really damaged and a lot of wastage, as we say. But I think this is going to be a really, really good solution. So that journey of 1,000 miles is getting less and less every minute, and Doug and I are making sterling progress. But we have come up against a little challenge. Not long ago, the boys built this tank shelter for their model tank. So I'm going to have to gingerly go round it and carry on my mission. Until next time, stay magical, and we'll see you then.